What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over pre-construction and resale condo investing. I'm going to cover some of the differences and some of the pros and cons of each, so that way you can make the most educated decision when it comes to your next investment. So before I get into the pros and cons of each and some of the differences, first of all, what is a pre-construction condo? What is a resale condo? When we refer to pre-construction condos, we are talking about condos that have not been built yet. They are still under construction, or maybe they haven't even started yet and they've just launched sales. A resale condo is a condo that is currently on the market. It's already been built, it's already been registered with land titles, and maybe someone has even lived in it. So these are the typical condos that you're gonna see on the MLS that are currently for sale. So now that we got that settled, I gotta cover one of the biggest myths that I hear almost every other day from people who got this advice from their cousin or their father-in-law or wherever, but I just need to clear this up for you. And it is the myth that pre-construction condos sell for cheaper than resale condos because they're not built. And this is simply just not the case. That may be true in some markets, but in Toronto, the market is hot. There are a lot of investors, and these developers are no different than any other seller. They want to get the absolute most amount of money for their condo as the market will allow. So they are charging actually higher than resale prices because the market will allow it. Over the last couple of years, pre-construction sales have done very, very well. People who have invested in the pre-construction market have made a lot of money, so people continue to invest, which allows developers to crank up their prices and still sell units. Both pre-construction and resale condo investing, they're both great, they're both gonna make you money, but when it comes to making a decision as to which one's right for you, it's important that you understand how they make money and what responsibilities come with each. With pre-construction condos, you only have one main stream of income until it is built, which is market appreciation. And what I mean by market appreciation is, let's say for instance, you bought the condo back in 2017, you paid $350,000 for it, and 3-4 years later, it's worth $550,000. You have made a $200,000 profit off of market appreciation. With resale condos, you have two streams of income, one being market appreciation, which is what you saw with the pre-construction condos, but the second source of income is through a tenant and building up equity in the property. And what I mean by this is, because it's a resale, an existing condo, you can put a tenant in it. And that tenant is going to be paying you rent, which is going to be helping you pay your mortgage and putting equity towards the property, basically chipping away at your loan every single month. You are going to be able to recover this equity when you go to sell the property. So now you have two streams of income versus pre-construction just has one. When you say it like that, it sounds pretty one-sided at this point. It sounds like the resale is going to outperform the pre-construction, but let me go over some of the differences of each and some of the responsibilities that come with each. And it'll give you a better idea as to why some people still decide to go with the pre-construction. I would say the number one advantage to buying a pre-construction over a resale is obviously the fact that you don't need a tenant. You don't have to worry about vacancies. You don't have to worry about phone calls, stuff breaking, not getting paid rent, which is a huge advantage. It's more of a set it and forget it type of investment. You put your deposit down and you just let your property grow in value. It's essentially buying Toronto condo stock. Another advantage to pre-construction is that it is a little bit easier to get pre-approved for, as some of the developers are a little bit more lenient with the pre-approval process, as you don't need to close on that property for say 4 or 5 years down the road. So given your financial situation could improve, or maybe you're already financed out on many other mortgages on investment properties, they will give you a little bit more leniency. So if you're already tapped out on your mortgage or your lending power, pre-construction might be the only way that you are still able to get money into the market. With resale condos, as I mentioned, the biggest advantage is the fact that it has two streams of income versus just the one, and the fact that it is a little bit more liquid. If you decide to sell the property, it's a lot easier to sell a resale condo than it is to assign a pre-construction condo. That being said, it does come with some downfalls in the fact that you do have to be a landlord, you do have to deal with tenants, you may get the odd phone call or the odd vacancy, and you have to pay property taxes, you gotta pay insurance. There's a little bit more overhead costs that come with it. So what I like to do with some of my investors who are on the fence between pre-con and resale is go over what I call the 5-5-5 example, where we hypothetically buy two condos that are worth $500,000 each. They are going to appreciate for 5% per year, and we are going to hold on to each investment for 5 years. Hence, 5-5-5. For the purpose of this example, let's say that our hypothetical pre-construction and our hypothetical resale condo are right across the street from each other, so they're in the same neighborhood, and the resale has just been constructed, it just closed, so it's only about 1 year old at this point. For the pre-construction condo, it's super simple. You have $500,000 appreciating at 5%, for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you're going to be left with about $638,000 with a profit margin of about $138,000 before closing costs and taxes. Now with the resale condo, you're walking away with the same 5% appreciation for 5 years, which is going to land you at about $638,000, profit of $138,000. But the main difference is we have a tenant in there who is chipping away at the mortgage every single month, and they're going to be putting about $10,000 of equity into your property every single year. So for 5 years, that's an extra $50,000 that you're going to be walking away with. Granted, there are some holding costs on top of that. You may not break quite even, or maybe the odd thing breaks down, but you are definitely going to walk away with substantially more money on the resale example. Obviously, that is a pretty generic example, and there are tons of, there's holding costs on the resale example, and there's closing costs on the pre-construction example, but that example gives you a really good idea of how they perform, how much extra money you're going to make on the resale condo side of things. And I mean, if I covered every little detail here, this would be like a 3-hour video, so I'm going to spare you. If you guys do have any questions about stuff like that, go ahead, hit me in the comment section below. I'll answer them. So I would say the biggest thing that you need to consider before you choose which route to go is look at your financial situation and how bad you want to be a landlord. If you do not want to be a landlord, you simply just want to invest your money, continue with your life and your job, then I would say pre-construction is definitely the way for you. And if you don't mind being a landlord and you want to build up some extra equity that you could either recover when you sell or potentially leverage in a refinance, then pre-construction is definitely the way you need to go. I hope that helps clear things up. I mean, they're both really good investments. They're both wins. It's more of a matter of figuring out which one works best for your lifestyle and the way you want your money to work for you. So if you have any questions or say you're interested in getting into the resale or pre-construction market, go ahead, leave me a comment below or hit me up in my email. Email is in the description. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.